Hey, good morning, everyone. How are you today? Happy Card Pull Monday. Today we're going to be pulling from the Inner Radiance deck. This is from my dear friend, Samantha Sheets. She's so fantastic, and I love this deck. Also, I want to get some more decks. I'd love to know which ones do you guys love and which would you love for me to pull from. Tell me all of the things. And while I'm choosing our group card today, first of all, I want to say hello and good morning, and I'm so happy that you're here. And a little bit of update. Okay, hey Sarah, I have a big announcement for you guys. I I just submitted my chapter for this book that I'm going to be in, and it is called She's Magic 2. I would love to know if you guys are interested in sharing your story. I do have an amazing publisher who I highly recommend, and in this series of She's Magic, it's all about women sharing their stories. And so if you have a story that you want to share, highly recommend that you connect with Blair. So just leave a message, leave a comment down below, or get into my my inbox if you can, and I would love to connect you with her. You don't have to be a coach or anything, but I am, and I share that part of the story. Let's get the background looking better. Boom. And hey, Carrie. Yay. Okay. Yeah, Carrie, you got to be in a book. Of course you do, because you're amazing, and you have such a gift and everything that you have to share for our world and for our audience. You guys definitely connect with Carrie. You're like a powerhouse, my sweet friend, on positivity and her pillars of positivity. She's very, very good at organizing her thoughts, and she has a book out too. Ooh, okay, here's our group one. There's another card in here that just right there. Okay, here's our group one though. Let's see what it says. It says, I accept myself and I accept all beings and I see them with eyes of love. I accept myself and I accept all beings and I see them with eyes of love. I love this card because something that's been showing up for me a lot recently is about liberation, but I almost want to issue this like public apology to people. And hey Jamie, she says, hey, I finally get to see you live. But I want to like issue this public apology because there's so many times when I have looked at other women and there has been a side slight of judgment. And one example is like if I saw a woman who didn't shave her armpits and I was like, why don't you do that? Get back in line. Right? Like that's what we do as women, is we're prim and proper. We make sure everything is like trimmed and maintained. And I'm like, no, if someone doesn't want to shave their armpits, they don't have to. That's a choice that we get to make. Why would I judge somebody and not see them through eyes of love? Why would I do that? Because they weren't fitting my status quo, like they weren't fitting what I expected and expected and how I thought I needed to be, and that was a mirror, and them and their freedom was a trigger for me. And so I think this is a beautiful card about accepting all beings exactly as they are. Like I went dancing the other day and it was fantastic. It was like an ecstatic dance at the park, and there's this guy who had a really hairy back, and I was like, rock on, brother. Like, good for you. Old me would not have old me would not have been able to handle that. I would have made some sort of comment about it. And now I'm learning to be in that liberated space. Same thing with, I used to make the comments about someone who was wearing, maybe she was a little bit bigger and she was wearing shorts that were really short. And I'd be like, well, you know, the kind of girl that doesn't like fit in those shorts. I would say that comment, but you know what? I've really been desensitized to that. And like Lizzo, if you guys ever watch Lizzo, or if you follow her online, she's so great. She's going to be in lingerie and she's just like shaking her big old dimply booty everywhere. And she's like, this is me and I love it. And I'm so freaking cute. And I was like, yes. Like, why did I not see this person through eyes of love? Why was I judging them in this weird passive-aggressive, spiritual bypassing type of way? And so let's be conscious and aware of that. Like, are we having any judgments towards other people, our own implicit bias? And it's not just about race or color, but it could be about body type or style or what people choose to do with their bodies. So love this card. I accept myself. I accept all beings and I see them with eyes of love. Let's say hello to accepting yourself too, right? If we have these unmet needs within, or if we have these implicit biases, it's because there's some sort of mirror. It's a mirror and it reflects back to us. So what part of ourselves do we need to deeply reflect on and deeply accept? Carrie says, yes, loving this on the soul level and not the physical level. There's so much more. Hi, Gianluca. I think I said your name right this time. And everyone who's on here, super beautiful card for today. I feel like I need to like post this somewhere. Okay, so Breezy, I saw you on here first, and then Gianluca, I saw that you were also, okay. Breezy, this one is for you. Yes. Ooh, look at that powerful and profound blue. Just like opening up that throat chakra, but also like what I'm seeing is like the sea and the water and the flow of water, of like deep ocean, undisturbed blue water, where things can come and things can go, and the water doesn't throw a tantrum. She doesn't freak out. She's not like, why are there new fish in my waters? She just says, welcome. All are welcome in my waters. All are welcome. And so I'd love to see how this resonates with you, Breezy. I haven't even read it yet, but just this color really elicited that emotion. And let's piggyback on the card that we just pulled. Also, are we truly welcoming everybody into our space and into our heart as well? I attract abundance into all areas of my life. I attract abundance into all areas of my life. And when we want more for others, we then receive more abundance for ourselves. But it starts with wanting more for others. And I think this ties into the water piece as well, right? When we welcome we welcome other people, we welcome, ourselves, being of service to them. How can I serve you? How can I support you? How can I show up for myself? How can I show up for others? In this space, we're not operating from lack, but we're giving and allowing ourselves to receive. That's when we become a higher vibration for more abundance to flow into our space. And know that you can attract it in all areas of your life. So let's say hello to the pie of life, right? There's not only like fitness and physical and like health, like nutrition and things like that. But there's also personal growth and well-being and satisfaction and career and finances and relationships with your family, relationships with other people, relationship with yourself. There's so many other areas. In what areas are we willing to grow? Which ones are we doing really, really well in? And which ones are we going to step into and working on improving? But know that you are capable of attracting abundance into all areas of your life. This is really, really important, because some people will say, yeah, I'm really, really good at attracting money or physical fitness, but I'm really awful at attracting love, right? That might be an example for someone. Oh, Breezy she says spot on. Good. I'm so glad. So it's like I might be confident in physical fitness. I might be confident in nutrition. I might be confident in friendships. But when it comes to love, it's really, really hard for me. It's just not for me. I don't attract abundance in that area. That's a belief system. That's ultimately an illusion. So I feel like this card is really calling you and supporting you and saying that you can attract abundance in all areas of our life and of your life. And what narrative, what story do we need to shift and retell in order for us to clear the blocks and make way for that abundance? So good. Good. Yeah, let me know how that resonated, my sweet friend. Okay, so Gianluca. I want to say Gianluca. This one is for you. I'm seeing a bright yellow for you, my friend. Like the sun just went ping, ping, ping. I did a psychic reading shortly before this, and one of the themes was about the sun rising. And before I read this card, it was the sun rises, and no matter what the day is going to bring, she still rises. And even with all of the crazy things that are happening in 2020, and the this and the that, and the brokenness, and people are sick, and people are in war, all of that, the sun still rises. She doesn't know what tomorrow will bring, but she knows that it's her, I don't say it's her responsibility, but it's safe for her to rise because she can handle and endure anything. So not sure how that resonates with you yet, but look at this card. Ooh, geranium is the essential oil that goes with this, if you guys see this at the bottom. So Gianluca says, I trust myself enough to let go of all things that serve no purpose in my life. I trust myself enough to let go of all things that serve no purpose in my life. Giving yourself permission to have the courage and lean in and step away from anything that no longer serves us. So let's take an inventory of our life. How much time are we spending on certain things? Maybe it's TV. Maybe it's hanging out with a certain person. Maybe it's listening to a certain person. You notice your energy being drained. Whatever it is that's in our space, what is something that might be draining our energy, maybe taking up our time, maybe deflating us? And is there anything that we can do to step out of that? I know Paula says Gianluca's name is so beautiful. It is. He's a beautiful human being too. I feel like we're going to be doing some work together, brother. And so permission to trust yourself. Your success is inevitable, and you are always on the right path. No matter what path you take, even if we stumble or it feels like we misstep, There's no such thing, really, because it just leads to another lesson for us to learn to enhance our journey as we take one step in front of the other. So what would it take to trust yourself even deeper? Trust yourself, trust the universe, trust your future, your path, your guides, your angels. I know for you, my friend, you are very in tune with all of those things. In what way can we lean in a little bit more? And also, what is something that doesn't serve a purpose in our life that we can let go? Here's an example on a very physical level is I am very active on social media, obviously, and so I would have all of my notifications for Instagram and Facebook that would show up. So constantly all day I'd be in the middle of something and it was like ping, 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 and I'd get so distracted. And it's something that I wanted to show up for everybody, wanted to answer them right away, but it got to the point where it was so distracting I wasn't getting anything done. So it didn't serve me, and I decided to turn them off. And sometimes I have to be really intentional about checking them. And sometimes I feel a little bit behind, but you know what? My heart is so much more free because I can do the things I need to do without feeling an obligation. Like I have to get back to this person right away, right away, right away. So that's kind of a 3D example of something that we can let go of and release. And sometimes it's our old stories too. What old story and narrative are we willing to shift? He says, yes, I'm so doing this now. I'm trusting myself and source more than ever. And I feel fantastic. Thank you. Oh, there it is. Yes, my sweet friend. We're definitely going to be doing a lot of work together. I see and believe that. And hey, Grace and everybody else. Okay, I want to see Carrie. I see you on here. Oh, this card, did I pull you a card already? That was for everybody. I just saw Carrie on here. Because this one is for you, Carrie. I pulled it as soon as I saw your name and it was on the side. Just seeing a blue, but we talked about the blue. Beautiful. Okay, it says, spending time in Mother Nature increases my intuition and brings me back home to myself. Okay, I have a beautiful story for you guys. So Carrie, oh my gosh, I watch her Instagram stories and you have these like amazing oasis locations that she goes to that are surrounded by greenery, and I'm like, I need to come and travel to wherever you are so we can go on this hike. I want to tell you this super duper beautiful story. So spending time in Mother Nature increases my intuition and brings me back to my home, brings me back home to myself. So if you guys looked on my personal feed or my Instagram, I did a story about Mother Nature and how Mother Nature, how she holds me. She holds me without expectation and completely unconditional in that love, and how I was able to I went to the Galena Forest now that I live on a different part of town. And I just went out in nature and I hugged a tree and it felt so good and I felt so held, and any of the anxiety or stress or frustration or anything that was in my space just melted away. I really did feel that she held me back. And I came home. A big block that I have is around writing. And believe it or not, you guys, some are like, what? You guys write all the time. But I do. It takes me a long time to write something. And I came home and I posted that picture of me hugging a tree, and then I just channeled. My friend Ellie, she always says, she's like, drop your head into your heart and operate from that space. So that's exactly what I did. And I tuned into how I was feeling when I was in Mother Nature and how she made me feel so held, without judgment, unconditional, present. And it felt so magical and it helped me tune into my intuition. So I wrote that beautiful post. Anyways, about the book that I was telling you guys about, finally submitted my chapter for that, and it was very long. It was like 5 pages, and for me, that's a whole lot to write, especially it's like part of my life story and inspiring people, blah, blah. Anyways, I said, Mother Nature brought me that space of intuition where I dropped my head into my heart and I operated from that space. And what sent me into so much stress and panic, it literally took me like 10 hours, but I still did it. And I was working through that block, but it started with Mother Nature. I needed to be held. I needed to be in a space where I could be loved and where I could be understood. And when I did that, I was able to bust through this huge block and write this fantastic and beautiful chapter, which will soon be published, and you guys will have access to that soon. So just know, if you're feeling blocked, if you're feeling like you're wrestling with something, you don't know what to do and you don't know what the next steps are, spend time with Mother Nature. She wants to support you. She wants to be there next to you. Know that it will increase your nutrition and bring you back home to yourself. I love that. I'd love to know how that resonated with you, my friend. All right, let's see who's else. Oh, Breezy says, yes, definitely needing this today. And Jamie says, Lizzo, I want a fraction of her confidence. You guys should definitely watch Lizzo online. I repost her stories all the time because she is so confident. She's this big, voluptuous black woman, and she like did this video in the mirror, and she's like, why are you so cute? how'd you get so cute? And I was like, yeah, I need to have some of that because that's not always what I think about in the mirror. I'm like, I had to upgrade my eye cream. So we need to have that kind of confidence. I love it. All right, all right. Who is next? Card for Paula. Yes, I would love to do a card for you. Paula, my sweet friend. Okay, you need to have my calendar, sister, because I love you so much. You're not even my sister. You're like my mom. We've talked about that. Oh, okay, here we go. Oops. Yep, this one is for you. All right. First of all, look at that beautiful pink. Without even reading it, it just reminds me of like butterfly wings or flowers that are in bloom and blossom. My inner light is turned on and I am ready to shine my light. Yes, you are. And of what I know about Paula, for sure, you've done so much deep work. My inner light is turned on and I am ready to shine my light. What I love about this is what would it take to turn your light on? I would love for you guys to journal this. What would it take for you to turn your light on? Because sometimes we walk around with it turned off. Sometimes if it's too bright, it makes us an attractor for annoying little bugs, right? Sometimes it could be that. And I'm like, I don't want to be seen. When I'm in the grocery store, I just want to like go, I want to get my stuff, and I want to come back. Sometimes I don't want my lights on. I just don't feel like it. Other times, I want it so loud, and I'm like, hey, checker, good to see you again this week. Hi, madam at the door, making sure that I have a mask because we're still in the middle of coronavirus, and that's the new law. Hey, how you doing? Like, sometimes I want my light turned on to be so bright. We have control over that. So if you notice, well, check in with yourself. Is your light turned on, or is it turned off? And why? I turn mine off when I don't feel safe. When I don't feel safe and when I feel overwhelmed, that's what it is. Sometimes it feels like there's so much to carry, I'm not able to turn it on. So check in with yourself. Is your light on or is it off? And either way, why? And what would it take for you to turn it on if it's off? What would it take for you to turn it on? I can't imagine wanting to turn it off. But if you did, what would it take to turn it off? Journal on that. Get deep with yourself. Spend time with yourself. And know that you are ready to shine your light. So for you, Paula, because I love you so much and I know all of your potential, this woman is truly changing the world. The things that she does in the community with sex trafficking and advocating for the community, it is on a whole new level, is astronomical. Paula is a client of mine, and I just am so honored and over the moon excited for the things that she's able to do. But there's also a point where we're more afraid of our light than we are of our darkness. So doing the really huge, big things like speaking on stages and creating these, like writing a book and just spreading the message on a bigger, grander scale, that's scary. So I feel this is a call for you to turn your light on and let it shine so, so bright. I feel like I was about to rap as I said that. Because you are ready and the world is ready. And look at these beautiful, I see all these little hearts, these beautiful flowers that are in blossom and in bloom. Another thing is a flower, when it's in its little bud, it might feel afraid, but as soon as it opens up, and it taps into its energy and it feels the sunshine on its face. If a flower has a face, it feels good. And that's when its true beauty gets to be seen. Not always when it's in its little bud, but when it's open and it's available and it's ready and it's like face up to the sky. And that is what you're being called to do. Turning your light on, you're ready, and the world is ready. Yeah, that feels so good. And hey, Mary and Grace, she says, hey, weirdos, you know this is your place where we can all get together as weirdos. Beautiful Stephanie. Stephanie, I would love to pull a card for you. Okay. And you are at the bottom here. I'm seeing sparkles of pink. Let's say hello to that. By the way, when I'm talking about your color, sometimes it does coordinate with the card, but also helps me tune into your unique energy frequency of like, what is mine? I usually show up as a yellow. So for other people, I'll identify what color are they at. Usually there's a story associated with it, but also it's so I know I'm specifically picking up on your energy. This one says, for you, Stephanie, I choose love, I choose happiness, and I choose myself. I choose love, and I choose happiness, and I choose myself. It's just, I have such a huge smile on my face because Everything in life is a choice. These micro choices that we make lead to macro results. And sometimes we don't choose ourselves. This is something else. Like there's a beautiful quote, which I'm paraphrasing from Glennon Doyle. And she says, "Never, ever again will I let myself stay in a room where I need to abandon myself." And I've had experiences with that, where I didn't choose myself or my happiness. I didn't choose love. I did what I thought I needed to do in that moment. There's a second one that recently happened. I forgot what it was, but there's one that I remember, and I'll share it with you. I'm very much plant-based, and so, against animal cruelty, all of the things, right? And the long story short, I was asked to be a model and hand out tickets for this big, huge event. And there were like hundreds and hundreds of people here, and they rent out this huge club. And I was like, yeah, of course, sure, I'll be a model and hand out tickets for free. Like, it's a really expensive company. I would love, it's not company, it's a networking group, and I'd love to be a part of it. I was so grateful and honored that they asked me. And with that being said, what I didn't know is that when I got there, they wanted me to model jackets, but they wanted me to model jackets of like fur coats, so dead animals that I don't agree with, and never ever in a million years would. It was like mink, and one was like this fox, and I felt so filthy, and my heart dropped, and I was like, I don't want to wear that. And what I was doing is I was selling raffle tickets to some of the events, to some of the giveaways, but also I was selling raffle tickets, very expensive, like $100 tickets for this jacket that I was wearing. And luckily somebody was with me, but I betrayed myself in that moment. And I was so grossed out and sad and disappointed, but at the same time I was like, oh, but this is my responsibility because I said yes and they don't have anyone else to do it. And so I have to do it now. And I just felt so awful. And they had me like go up on stage, and they're like, talk about your coat. Like it was a good thing. And I was like, and I was so shy, I wanted to disappear, and I was like, yes, this, which is not how I show up. Like, I meant to be on stage. I've worked on stages for years, right? And in that moment, I didn't choose myself. I didn't choose my values or my boundaries or anything. I gave in to expectation. And moving forward, I have committed, if I have a choice between disappointing somebody else and disappointing myself, I will always choose to disappoint somebody else, because I have to live with that. And they could have found another solution, right? So this is permission for you, Stephanie, and to everybody who's listening. Choose yourself and your happiness and your boundaries and your values and what you're in alignment with, and choose yourself. Boom. That was good. Hope you guys love that. All right. Okay, Shawnee. I love it. I was telling Gianluca, that my last name is Amadzai, and so people always struggle with it, and I have grace in correcting them, but I also have a lot of respect in making sure I get it right for other people. So Shawnee, I'm going to go with that one. Hopefully that is you. This card, ooh, hey, this one is very similar to the cover, too, which I love. I am perfect as I am. I am perfect as I am, and I love that the essential oil for this is rose, because a rose, everybody loves roses. They just are. And all of their colors and their velvety feeling and their vibrant smells, like everything about them is so perfect. You are perfect as you are. And we can be perfectly imperfect. That is okay. Exactly as we are meant to be. So this makes me really excited. In what areas of our life are we doubting ourselves? Are we letting any negative thoughts or feelings or emotions or experiences or past experiences come into our forefront and maybe make us question our power and our value in truly who we are? And I've had that come up a lot for me recently. True story, where I realized there are a lot of things that I have said and done in the past that weren't very queenly. They were appropriate for the tools that I had at that time, but it wasn't the best. I wasn't at my best. And I was like, that was embarrassing. Or, I can't believe I said that. A classic example I think I've shared on here before is I had an ex-boyfriend, very dear friend. I love him very much. He was my high school sweetheart. We were together for like 9 years, forever, grew up together. So I knew him very well. And his grandma died. And he was really sad and upset. And I was like, why are you so sad? And he was like, well, my grandma died. And I was like, well, you never talked about her. Were you close with her? And he's like, well, no, not really, but she's still my grandma. And I was like, well, you just got to get over it. Like, she died, and that's it. Like, end of story. I could have been so much more gentle in that moment, but that's how I've always dealt with things. Like, having a past of trauma and abandonment, and on so many deep, deep levels, I've had to learn as an adult what empathy was. I was not empathetic towards him, and I think about that like, ugh, man, I could have been a better person. But we don't have to carry that past version of ourselves into our present and make us feel like we're broken, or we're less than, or we're not worthy. You are perfect exactly as you are in this moment. And if you are resonating with that story, maybe there are things from the past that you're like, ooh, yeah, that sucked. And yeah, that wasn't at my best. If that is the case for you, it's okay. You're perfect exactly as you are right now. And you are perfectly placed in your life exactly where you should be and how you should be. And we don't need to worry about the past. We don't even need to worry about the future too. We just need to keep the faith and hold the vision of where you want to go, and then trust that you'll be guided on your action steps of where you're going to, where you will be taken. So I am perfect as I am. Here's another thing that might resonate with you. This is a big talk. I have done a Instagram story about lashes, of like, should I get lash extensions or should I not get them done? You know, should I get my eyebrows microbladed? Should I not get them done? Whatever that was. And people came out of the woodwork, and they were like, you know, why don't you love yourself more, or blah, 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 all these things. First of all, bottom line, you get to do whatever the fuck you want to do, because it is your body, and if it makes you feel good, you get to do it. Also, check in with yourself and make sure that you're doing it for you. So you get to do whatever it is that you want. With that being said, you are perfect as you are. If you want to enhance your lips or dye your roots or anything, you get to. But also know that you are perfect exactly as you are. And in a world, especially as women, but for men too, where we are taught that we aren't curvy enough, or we aren't skinny enough, or our nose isn't thin enough, or our teeth aren't straight enough, or whatever it is, drop it. It doesn't have to be true. That is an illusion of our culture. Bye-bye. We don't need it anymore. You're perfect as you are. Beautiful. Hopefully that resonates with you, my friend. And then Grace. Oh my gosh, I love you. We need to go and hike in the mountains. You know, there's a part of me I'm always put together, and I'm mom, and I'm wife, and I business owner, all of the things. But there's a deep part of me that just wants to get super naked in the woods and dance around with fairies and plant medicine and sing a little song at the top of my lungs. And not many people are going to be on board with that. But Grace, you are. I know you are. Grace is my dancing buddy. She's my dancing buddy naked in the forest. So this one is for you. It says, I say no to all things that do not align to my heart. I say no to all things that do not align with my heart. Every time we say yes to something that doesn't make us feel good, we're saying no to something else that could make us feel good. Definitely a lesson I've had to learn, and be really, really protective of my time and of my energy and in everything, so I can show up in the areas that I need to for my friends, for my family, for my clients, etc. So this is a call for you too, Grace, because you're really good, I believe, at saying no. You're really good at calling things out exactly as they are, exactly as it should be. In what areas, what else can we say no to things that don't align to our heart? Sometimes we get caught in being busy or doing the things for everybody else. That's something else that I really, really recognize is for myself is I want to help this person and that person, that person, that person. It's like everybody's on their own journey. We're not here to fix anybody. We're here to support and offer guidance, but also not without sacrifice, not to the extent that we're sacrificing our time and our own energy. So at the end of the day, you walk through the door and you end up giving your family your leftovers, right? Like I've been in that cycle so many times. And so this is... I don't really even apply that to you, Grace, because I think you're so good. I know you're so good in balancing the things. And so I'm just curious to know how this resonates for you, and anybody who's listening, what more can we say no to? Having the courage to walk away. It doesn't have to be like, no. It could be, no, thank you. I did the training on setting healthy boundaries last week for our Wisdom Drop Wednesday, and it was about, my heart says yes, but my calendar says no, I'm not available to fit that in. Sometimes it might be no to eating the entire box of Oreos or the whole sleeve of Oreos or whatever it is. It could be whatever doesn't fully align with your heart that maybe I shouldn't do that, but I'm doing it anyways because I feel a moral obligation or an expectation. But let's choose to say no to it, because that's a form of self-respect, and that is choosing yourself and choosing happiness and choosing love. I'm trying to pull the card, but it won't come up. So I love that. And Melaleuca is the essential oil that goes with this. And gosh, blood sugar is low. It's the essential oil that goes with this. So yes, that is that. But Melaleuca is a really healing oil, and I believe that's the one that you can use. It's like tea tree. You can use for like acne, for healing, for any wounds or things like that. So this is like a deep cleansing from the inside out. And even for ourselves, saying no to the silly beliefs that everything is valid. It's not necessarily silly, but say no to the beliefs that don't serve us. The belief they may have about our body or our skin or our face or our future or our titles or whatever it is, we have permission to say no to those also, if it doesn't align with truly who you are. I love that. And I hope that you guys do too. Beautiful. All right, my sweet love. Paula says, your post on Mother Nature was beautiful and totally resonated with me. I'm so glad. I should definitely post it in here. And Gianluca says, nature has been the biggest healer for me since I was a child. True. Oh, Sarah, my sweet friend. She's like, you popped up on my screen. I was thinking about you. Awesome. Paula says she definitely has her light on, and it is a total game changer. Yes, you do. And I see Ashley on here and all of you beautiful people. Awesome. So this looks like that is a wrap for our call, for our card pull today. I just want to check through. Grace says, fuck yeah. I know she was talking about being naked in the woods. Beautiful. Grace also says, she's like, what was it? It was like releasing the old, even if it's hard. She goes, thanks, babe. You're the shit. Right back at you. Okay, I am going to do one more card because I felt one that was buried in here. Oh, well, okay, here we go. I'm seeing like this rainbow of yellow. Okay. This is for the group. Ooh, here we go. I said a rainbow of yellow, and here we got a rainbow of all of these beautiful colors. Gratitude opens my heart to the unlimited possibilities that are within me. Gratitude opens my heart to the unlimited possibilities that are within me. I think this is a beautiful card to wrap this up because it's something that I've noticed. I've been feeling really overwhelmed just in my personal life, professional life, all the things. There's just a lot of things to juggle. And that's all okay. When I fall off of my gratitude practice, I can tell I'm getting too in my head. Again, dropping from my head to my heart, and what am I grateful for? And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't even been grateful for things recently, which usually it's part of my morning practice. And that tells me I was getting a little bit off of alignment, which is why I was feeling so tired and exhausted and drained. So I want to encourage you, make space for your gratitude practice today. And I would encourage you also to use it as a compass to see where your energy is, because when we're truly aligned, it's easy to come up with things that we're grateful for, and to lean in with deep gratitude. But if we're out of alignment, it's harder for us to find things that we're grateful for. If you need help, let me know. Do it maybe this week we'll do a Thankful Thursday, and you can share all the things that you're thankful for. And last night I was like, you know what? I'm so thankful for this house that we moved into. And I remember when I walked in and it was empty, and how I felt and dreamed about how we would fill the rooms. And then it was ours. And then we moved in. And now I've organized some things, and this gets to be our life. Thank you. I'm so grateful for that. The simple things, like, lean into it, because a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles, and it unleashes the unlimited possibilities that are within you. So with that, wish you guys an amazing day full of amazing things, and I will see you on Wednesday for another Wisdom Drop Wednesday. I forgot what the training is, but I already have it done. I already have it listed out, and I will do a little post on it very soon. All right, love you guys. Bye.